All right. I think we're live in all different platforms. So I'm so excited and thrilled because today we're going to talk about this belief of I'm enough, self-worth and self-esteem. And I'm truly, truly excited about that. And you must say why you're so happy because the topic was mentioned that what to do with feeling of not being good enough, not enoughness. Well, I feel really happy that we have this opportunity to take this time and learn practical tools, because this is something that is so relevant for me. I feel like that my entire conscious life I've been searching, finding right tools, and now being a holistic therapist, I know certain really practical, really good techniques that I've proven with my clients and based on science. So that's why I'm very excited to share it today with you. And since my approach is holistic, that we take into consideration always how we experience the world, from the bodily presence, emotions, conscious, subconscious, soul level, and even social aspect, I'm sure that you will find at least one practice that will impact you, and this will impact you on all areas of your life, because that's what happens. People come working with me with all type of issues, like health or career, or maybe in relationships. But then the truth is, when we go deeper, that underneath all of these presented issues, there is 95% of time, there is this core belief of I'm not good enough. And that's why I believe that this is such an important work to do, because it will affect different at all areas of your life. So right now, when you are joining or even watching later, just think of it, how you can benefit from growing your self-esteem, from having this core belief that I am good enough. How do you think that it could impact your life? And you can write it in the chat or just write it in your journal, whatever is more comfortable for you. And of course, introduce yourself, just say your name and where are you joining from. And if you sometimes feel this way, that sometimes these thoughts come, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not good in this, or just feeling of this shame or fear of being yourself or presenting yourself to the world, just know that you are not alone in this. We're all in this together. If at least once you experience any of those self-doubt thoughts, just write, yes, I know this. Because most of the people, we do experience this. And the good part is that it's not always the same level. If you think of the scale from 0 to 1%, 100%, it's not just like one emotion, one feeling, or one belief. It's always on the scale. Sometimes you feel a little bit more exaggerated. I'm never going to be good enough. And sometimes you feel maybe like 80%. So that's why just notice when you will be listening this session, when you will be doing this practice, just notice where you are each time and how it might change even today or maybe during the next week for you. And let's just begin and welcome everyone who is joining all the time. Yes. Sometimes I'm experiencing that. So yeah, there are different levels, of course. And today, what we're going to cover, few things. First of all, we're going to talk why you might have this belief of not being good enough. And then we're going to go through 9 practical strategies from the holistic perspective. And then in the end of the session, I'm going to guide you through a powerful self-inner work practice. So I'm sure that you will benefit and you will just notice what's relevant for you. So when you will be with me during this hour, you don't need to remember all items and the entire presentation. Just notice what resonates with you, what's relevant for you right now. And if you will choose only one or two things that you want to bring into your life, that's enough. That's enough for being enough. Let's learn during the session for this good enough rather than perfect as well. So why actually, where this belief is coming from? That's an interesting question, right? Well, let's start from the nature of humans. As humans, we have two core needs. Some call it linking and ranking, attachment and authenticity. In other words, we all need connection and love. And we also want to be ourselves. We want to have certain authenticity. And automatically, it's not that we do it consciously. We design this way that our brain is searching for this connection and also automatically ranking us compared to others, even in a group of more than two people. So that's why, okay, just a second. I'll just check here. Okay, all good. Good enough for the broadcasting, all right. And just if anyone is from Facebook or YouTube watching it, just let me know how it goes for you. In comments, if you can just mention it, and then we can continue further. I want a little bit of connection and attachment linking with you right now, who is joining from these platforms. But anyway, so what's happening when we are when we need both of these elements, right? We want to be connected, and we also have a need for authenticity. A lot of times when we are experiencing in childhood, we don't have enough of this attunement, when we don't have connection, when we can express ourselves freely, in experiencing unconditional love that is not based on certain achievement, but just appreciating us for who we are, mirroring our joy and presence. So that's when we start questioning, not we, but imagine a small child. For them, it's always easier to question that, oh, there is something, maybe there's something wrong with me, rather than questioning the world or their parents. So that's the first step, right? Forming these beliefs, even starting usually from mother's womb, and even probably before. All of this is being developed during very early stage. And now imagine that we go to the world and all our systems are designed to promote ranking, to promote competition, achievement, all of these things rather than connection. In school, it's always like that the teacher is marking what's wrong. They're not even pointing what was good, right? There is always this red mark that this was wrong, this was wrong. Then if you go in workspace, a lot of times, a lot of companies are using this scarcity as well. It's like, oh, if you don't achieve this goal, you are the failure. Or some this type of messages on TV, we're always promoted that if we don't have this or this car, or we don't eat this food, then something is wrong with us. So we receive from the entire system these messages. And if you don't have strong belief in the first place, then of course it's easier to go and believe what's being out there. So that's why, don't worry, it's not only you. You're not alone in this. And also it's not your or somebody's fault, because it's just, let's say, a system. And on the other hand, it's good news that you can become more aware of that and you can change it. That's for sure. It's proven. I experienced it myself, that over the time you can grow your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. So that's what we are going to do today. And let's just go there. The first step, it's always about becoming more aware. Because sometimes people don't recognize this belief that it's there. So it's very important to be able to identify, okay, what is it in me? And there are many forms how this belief can present themselves. For example, if you are minimizing that, oh, that's not important, even if you wanted to talk about something with your partner, let's say, or in the workplace, but you are saying that it's not important, that's already showing that you are not putting yourself as an important person, or maybe avoiding competitions or certain opportunities. Overachieving is also very common, because when you don't feel enough, then you always need to achieve more and more and more to fill this void. And also very typical that addictions are also start from there, because if you don't feel enough, then at least if you eat or drink or even overshop or whatever is addictive behavior, it will give you a certain fast relief, instant relief that, okay, I feel good right now. But of course, it's not healthy in a longer run. Or even a projection that is like not being able to separate yourself and your worldview from others, blaming others. And there might be even other, what I call symptoms. So just know that it's not who you are. Also, if you are just noticing right now that something is coming up for you, that you are recognizing certain traits, it's just a coping mechanism, actually. It's a symptom, but also this habit might help you in some point, or even helping right now to you. But it's just a coping strategy. And the more you heal your core belief, your original story, that's the less you need this habit. All right, and let's just check in with ourselves and do the practice that will actually be helpful to you to become more aware of where you are in this. And you can take it home as well. So you can sit where you are and you can close your eyes if it's more comfortable, or you can stay with open eyes and just take one breath. Just notice where you are right now. Notice the ground under your feet and where you sit. Notice what are your physical sensations right now, where there might be some tingling sensations, vibrations, or maybe just you can experience how the air is touching your skin, the temperature change. Become aware of any noises around you. And think of a moment when you probably experienced this feeling, this belief. What was happening in your mind? What is usually that you tell to yourself or hear this voice? Maybe judgmental. Just recognize and separate these words right now. If you could read them on the screen in front of you, just acknowledging that it's okay, they're present and sometimes they're coming. And notice when you think these thoughts, what happens in your body. What do you feel? Maybe you feel shame or fear, maybe anxiety or anger, or something else. And notice what sensations that you have in your body. Where do you feel it? Check in with your chest and your belly, your throat, and overall through entire your body. And notice what's coming up for you right now. Where do you recognize this belief that I'm not good enough? Something is wrong with me? In which situations? How often do you experience this? Just becoming gentle with yourself right now, just allowing this awareness to be present with you. And remind yourself that you also have another level. Just notice that there is also a soul level present within you, something bigger. And just notice what comes up for you. Is there anything that your soul would like to tell you? Just give some space and create spaciousness. You are absolutely safe right now. And now feel your ground again. Feel your breath. Your breathing is flowing. Just notice inhalation and exhalation. And you can just inhale and sigh out. And when you are ready, you can just open your eyes. So something simple like awareness, it's really, really important, because when you are aware of something, when you can name it, then you can tame it. Then you can recognize, oh, there is part of me that feels this way. What can I do about that? Rather than being inside this box. So that's why if you can't identify what's happening exactly for you right now, that's okay. Just keep practicing this awareness. Keep observing your thoughts, your feelings, and your sensations. And a lot of interesting stuff might come up. And that's how you can go to the next step after awareness of identifying what's the original of the story, and how you can heal this part of yourself. Recently, I was just working with a client, and she said, "Oh, I am just not good enough. I feel so. I feel not good enough." And I was like, "Okay, tell me a little bit more about that, and what do you exactly feel when you say these words?" And then it ends up that she feels a lot of shame that is coming up. So just notice that I'm not enough. It might be not exactly a feeling, it's a story, it's a perception, and what's happening with you may be a certain feelings that are arising. So it's important to actually find out, okay, so what's exactly do I feel, and where the healing is required, where do I need this attention? And she was saying at first that it's okay. It's not that I'm not good enough, but right now I just feel this constant shame. And we started going there. I just asked her, okay, can we stay there? And what part of you feels this way right now? And she just went to a moment of seeing this child that was blamed and criticized by her mother. And she was saying that there is always a problem. You are always a problem. Because other siblings were behaving in a more a way that was expected from their mom, but herself, she was more rebellious, asking questions. So, but what she heard is that something is wrong with you. That was repeatedly asked by her mother. So of course, for a child, it's she will not think it's like, oh, it's actually that my mom doesn't have enough capacity right now to answer questions. She would just remember this feeling that is like something is wrong with me. And then later she realized that in school she could remember that whenever she will talk to other kids, she would experience this shame again. And even right now, she's a super successful professional, and there is this still feeling while the story is already irrelevant. So the more you understand a little bit of this origin, at least it brings you, first of all, more compassion, that it's not you in this moment. You're not dealing with the situation. In work, you are successful and all is good, and there might be something in the past that requires healing. And then you can go and heal it. And when it comes to healing, a lot of times people skip the part of working with the bodily presence and emotions and go directly into, let's say, conscious, trying to shift this belief and repeating, I'm enough, I believe in myself. But if some part of you still doesn't believe, still needs a reassurance and safety, then your heart won't be open enough to receive it yet. So if you feel that there is just so much, then most likely that you have those suppressed emotions that you were not able to express during that moment when you were 3 years old or 5 years old or whatever the moment you might remember. And you don't even need to go that much to the past, because the thing is that feelings and your bodily sensations are right here, right now. So that's what you need to deal with. Is like, okay, what's happening with me right now? What's present? And allow yourself to release, even if it's sadness and you need to cry, or maybe there is rage that you need to express or verbalize it, at least verbalize what you feel. You can do it on your own, just find a safe space when you can be with yourself, or maybe a loving friend or partner, or work with a therapist that can create this safety for you to express all of these suppressed feelings. I also use, with most of the people, breathing and hypnotherapy to allow them to process and release all of the stuck emotions, and even bodily exercises, for example, gentle practices like yoga or dancing or qigong, they also help to release, or some somatic practices with gentle touch involved. This is all helpful. So just remember that these beliefs are not only beliefs, maybe they are from the past, but what you are dealing, it's your presence with the body. You might even notice, if you observe more, it's like, okay, whenever I feel this way, my shoulders are going down, or maybe for someone it's some sensations in the belly. So just become aware, and step by step, you allow yourself to release whatever that wasn't felt before. Just take a breath. If something comes up for you right now, just do one big inhale and sigh out. Allow yourself to feel if something is coming up for you, and just write how you're feeling, what's coming up for you. If any insights that you are getting, just write inside, or just type something for yourself to remember. All right. So that's the healing part. It's really important, releasing of the emotional and physical presence of those accumulated, suppressed feelings. And then, of course, while feelings are real, the story itself, it's usually false. As I was telling you, another example, when I worked with another person, and she was also telling me that I'm just not, I feel like a failure. And I was like, okay, what's happening? Why exactly do you feel this way? And then she's like, I was just in this presentation. So then when you ask the question, what actually happened? Then it happens that she was doing a presentation at her workplace, and something went wrong, but something really like a small conversation with her colleague. And she didn't feel that she could apply to a position that is relevant, that she wanted, because she felt this like a failure feeling. Again, we went to this feeling is like, what part of you that feels this way? And she found out parts that she needs to work with. But it also helped her to understand that reality is different from this belief. I like this question. What's the reality of that? Is that true? So let's say if you have certain belief, you can ask, is that true? Is that 100% true? What's the reality of that? And then she realized that actually, and then I was asking, okay, what's the reality? Is it that you don't want to apply to this position because you don't have enough expertise, or maybe you are too junior in the company? She's like, no, I have all experience, education, my colleague loved me. So then she realized that actually the feeling is real, but the story is all from the past. And that allowed her to actually move forward while healing the part that needed that. So that will helpful as well for you to disintegrate. That's the next step, is to shift the story that is in your mind. First of all, by disintegrating yourself from the story. Okay, I feel this way right now. I hear this is what I believe right now, but it's not only me. This is something from the past. I'm acknowledging and I'm working with it, but I also have other states, other qualities. And then what you can move with, how you can move with it further, is also add to this story moments when you felt good enough, when you actually experience this state that you can do anything, this state of freedom. I'm sure that you will find, everyone will find these moments, and just embody them as well, to feel it in your body, remember what you say to yourself in that moment when you believe it, and write this down as well. For some people, it's helpful as well if they can imagine someone who really loves them, who adores them, and they can tell the story about them. So imagine them from yourself from their eyes and write it down. So then the story will be more complete. Because sometimes in these moments, it's just that you are only looking in this particular side, this particular situation. But right now we are creating more whole picture. All right, if this is something that is relevant for you, just write it in comments and take it back to yourself if you want to practice with this storytelling about yourself. So after we did these practices for my clients, she actually then realized that, okay, I'm actually great at work, and I'm really senior, I have everything, and it's just that part of me that feels afraid. And I will work with this part because I love her and I know that it's important for me to do this healing work, but I'm a great professional. So that's a completely different story, that I am a failure, I'm a complete failure, right? It's more compassionate, gentle, and it's easier to work with that. So that's how you can shift it and remember those questions. What's the reality of that? Is that true? And then you can identify. And if something is maybe real, for example, if you want to learn a new language, you might be not good enough in that, but it's very practical, so you can actually do certain steps and learn it. So it's more about confidence rather than the general self-worth. All right, so that's how you can move towards shifting the story. And what another step, practical strategy number 4, is definition of enoughness. When you think about, oh, I want to be good enough, what comes to your mind actually? Just write it down, or think for yourself that what's happening when you are thinking that I want to feel good enough. And what I noticed that for many people, what comes up is that success, yes, success, some perfection, achievements, all of these things that society brought upon us. And then you can ask yourself, but what actually a quality of worthy person, good enough person, just good person? What would be quality of this person? What would be their values? And then what usually comes up is like, okay, it's some kindness, or yes, being content, being happy. This type of qualities, they are more relevant in this definition, right? Like when you feel enough, you feel relaxed. And that brings you to your values as well. So in that case, you can think, what I actually want to experience on a daily basis? What are my values? What values do I want to live every day? And that's how you can shift this perspective from achieving goals, never-ending goals, rather shift it towards who I want to become, who I want to be, what values do I want to project, who I am already right now. So think about your values and how you can use them for this evaluation system. I remember that in some point, I was just practicing making decisions based on love rather than coming from fear. So every day I would just ask myself, okay, what decisions did I make today, or what actions that were from the intention of love and expansion rather than from fear. And as long as I stayed in that track, that was actually good for me, rather than setting this never-ending marathon sprints goals. Okay, let's take another breath. Let all, whatever that needs to stay with you will stay. And if you want notes from this practice, if you want working materials and guided meditation that I will send you after, just message, comment, follow up. Even if you are watching a replay later on, then still, if you comment under this video, follow up, I will send you materials from this presentation, value exercise, and a couple of other exercises, and also guided meditation. And now we're going to the next step, which is for daily practical exercise, exercising your self-talk. And sometimes we have this image that if person is talking to themselves, it's like, cuckoo, something is wrong with you. At least we were not trained how to talk to ourselves. And that's why the only voice for some people is this, like a critic who's judging all the time. But actually self-talk is really powerful instrument, and it's already happening with you. Your thoughts are already flowing. So why not just to add something and use it since it's already present? Now there are a few aspects of how you can work with self-talk. First of all is what is your supportive conversation with yourself? How you can train that? So there are a few ways how you can do that. For example, one of them is just replicating someone loving, maybe your grandma, maybe your partner, maybe a friend, and just hearing what would they say to you. Some studies show that telling it in a second voice will also be more powerful. So let's say that instead of saying, I'll Sue, all will be good, you can say, I'll Sue, you can do this. And you can also support yourself. Imagine like a coach in the gym, right? Like that is just commenting, okay, 3 push-ups left. Oh, good job when you finish it, right? So it's like a very small things that you can notice. So during the day, you can talk this way with yourself. It's like, oh, you are starting this preparation of this presentation right now. All right, you have 1 hour. That's great. And then after finishing that, you can just say, okay, you did this very well. And just this self-empowerment, supportive, informative talk. And the more you practice that, the more you can hear it later on in the situation when you really need it. In some point, I also heard the voice of my partner, and then I would just even call myself. I was like, amore, it will be all good. So when I realized that, it was really nice. And also I started using it consciously as well when I need it. So you can do that and just practice this self-talk, the supportive one. And of course, the big question for many people is like, how do I deal with this judging voice that is criticizing? I really love working with internal family systems, working with parts. If this part is present in you, then there might be a reason why it came up into your life. So you can do the same. It's like, okay, what's happening? What this part of me that is judging, what does it want? What is their intention? And you will be surprised that the part that seems that is nasty one actually would be the most loving part that really wants you to feel loved and supported. And they're just trying to protect usually or to prevent you from certain pain. So that's why, first of all, it's just, okay, you're here, recognizing it and allowing it, this presence to be, because they were serving you. But at the same time, not giving it too much power. You can even give it a name, or imagine that it's maybe I like funny animals, imagining that is, oh, like teddy bear or cute bird. So then it becomes not like this huge, nasty voice that is so much bigger than you. It's just like, okay, hi, Teddy, what's happening? What do you have here today for me? And then you can have a more, let's say, friendly conversation. And then you can say, it's okay, I know that you're worried about me, but I'm not that little girl anymore. I'm an adult and I got this. So that's how you can actually become more friendly with this judging voice and not giving it too much power. And some exercises might be helpful as well, noticing some small little things, what you can grateful for yourself today, some good qualities, your values that you lived. Just have a journal where you can write them down. Especially if you don't have this supportive voice, that's a good start for you to just write down every day 5 things you are grateful for yourself. And again, what happens usually when I start this work with people is that they think it's like, I'm not grateful for anything because I have my exam in 3 months, and if I do it, then I will be grateful. But for the brain, there is no difference. Is it like a huge event or is it a tiny one? It's all the same level. So that's why even you washed dishes or cooked food for yourself, or even said something nice to yourself or received compliment and actually took it, you can be grateful and proud of yourself for this moment. So write down all these tiny little things, and that's how you can develop that. And compliments, receiving compliments from others, also take them. Notice if you feel the resistance, just take a breath and allow yourself just to be at least, okay, I receive thank you for saying that, and take it into your journal, for example. All right, so that's how self-talk could help you, and I really love working with self-talk. It can be really, really powerful and worth investing your energy there. And the next practical strategy, number 6, would be having your nervous system balanced, especially if right now you're experiencing a certain depression or maybe PTSD or other states where you don't have this sense of safety. Then it's important to recover it first, because working with core beliefs is more deep work. The first, you need to stabilize your nerves. And what happens more and more, especially with this pandemic, is that we're constantly in this active state. A lot of people are constantly experiencing anxiety even while sleeping. So there is no space for the nervous system to rest. And also when you are in this anxiety state, it's the part of the brain that is responsible for catching danger is active, rather than for the one that is responsible for social engagement. So there is more of this freeze, flight, and fly response, rather than being engaged with people, knowing that it's safe. So more and more studies right now showing from different fields, whether it's biology, psychotherapy, or neuroscience, that simple practices that were practiced for many years within tribes and native cultures, that they will be really helpful and proven to balance your nervous system, like dancing or musical instruments, singing or playing, some acting, slow breathing as well, and movement practices like yoga. And of course, social interaction as well will be helpful to kind of like train the social part of your brain that it's safe for you to interact and promote this connection as well within yourself and with others. So if you don't have this yet, then start here. Just start introducing 5-minute morning routine for yourself, and that will be useful as well. And the next strategy is social interactions. This one is also super interesting because we all want to have this connection, and it's really important to have. But right now, when we're in a world of online, it's changed, right? People behind the their laptop, you don't really see what's happening. And that's why it's so easy for people to just comment some things that probably they will not tell to your face. So that's why one of the important things is to notice how do you interact with social media. And some recent studies are showing that if you just scroll and lose yourself there, then it's not helping. It's actually dispowering for your brain. While some of ways of interacting with social media can be useful. For example, when you are more focused, when you follow certain people with whom you know you connect or you resonate with them, and when you can comment supporting them. Because what also usually happens when you scroll, then you start comparing yourself. It's like, oh, this person is already here. And we all know how it works, right? Like posting stuff of good things, achievements, and we all have this illusion that everyone is only achieving stuff, going to Maldives, and I'm here in my apartment. So instead of staying in this state, when you see someone is achieving, just think of what was actually their journey and what's similar between us, rather than feeling low about yourself. It's like, oh, I didn't achieve anything, and comment. It's like, congratulations. And you will actually see a shift. You will feel good and more connected rather than more within the state of comparison. So I find it really useful. And talking about comparison, what could help is always comparing yourself not with another person, or not even with yourself and who you want to become, but with yourself, but 6 months before, 3 months before, 1 year before, especially in those moments when you're like, I'm not progressing fast enough, then think of, okay, where I was like 1 year ago. 1 year ago, I didn't even have an idea that I will be doing what I'm doing right now. Interesting. So then you can appreciate these small steps and your progress. So always draw back the attention. All right. If you want to receive these materials, just comment follow up, and then I'll send you information and also guided meditation. And of course, when it comes to social interaction, having some people with whom you can be fully yourself and connected, that's important. And it might be only 1-2 friends with whom you can open up, but it's really important because we are social creatures, and this relational interaction is really important to reestablish this safety and for you to feel love and connection and good enough, worthiness. This is an important element as well. And you can also start finding some social groups with whom you can resonate, or even with therapists when you work, you can use this opportunity to heal this part of relational part, use this time with them in this way. Okay, and only 2 things left, and then we're going to do a practical part. I know I'm so excited about this topic that I cut all the information like from 100 things into 9, but I think that it's really useful. I hope that it's really useful. So if it's useful, just comment and say that there is something for you that is important that you want to bring back. And let's continue. So for the next part of practical strategies, it would be reconnecting with your essence. Of course, we do this work with different parts, and the more you do, the more show up. It will feel like that especially when you just start. But then there is also another aspect. If you think of it, when you came to this planet, you also have this soul level, or you can call it essence, or you can call it chi, energy, or God in me, right? This connectedness, purity, it's all present in us. It's there. And you have it too right now. It's just that when we are in our daily state of, in a conscious state, then it's not always that we can achieve, go there. But you can also create more spaces. For me, I was questioning unconditional love. What's that? Can we as humans experience unconditional love? And maybe not that we can be always in unconditional love state, but we can have certain moments where we could experience it, and we can experience it more often. So that's how you can more be aligned with your essence, and remember that it's not only that this not enoughness that is part of you, but also this essence that is pure, expressive, and with so many gifts. And here, of course, I would recommend practices that I don't like to call it altered state of consciousness, because it's more like alterating, but these states are actually natural. I like how Stanislav Grof calls them holotropic states that are achievable with breath work, for example. When we do it with people, then they all report that I experience this state of pure love and forgiveness and unconditional love. So if you practice it regularly, like a large format like Rebirth or other forms, that would be really good. Or even using hypnotherapy, I could bring people, for example, in this state when they could feel this connectedness, oneness, and support. But also mindfulness and meditation, really amazing. And of course, there are many more modalities with sound and plant medicine. And overall, there is this growing field right now. So just think of what's relevant for you, or even religion in this context, when it's about like connecting to something bigger than you. For some people, it's also very relevant and helping. So think of that. Or if you are not spiritual in any context, then think about the state of flow. That you are all familiar with this term, and this state when you are losing yourself in terms of your personality, your ego, you losing this judgmental part and going just uniting with the thing that you do. For example, if you really love working on a certain project or playing a game, then that state of freedom, that's how people describe it. It's freedom, no time, and absolute joy and tenderness. If you know that you have some of those practices, activities, then just have them more as well. It will be also healing. All right, and we're going to the final part of this strategic, practical strategies before we are going to the practical guided part. So this is one of also really important, is shifting the perspective of good enough into from expecting perfectionism and achievement into more compassion. Let go of these expectations that you will be always good enough 100% of the time. Remember this scale that we had at the beginning from 0 to 100. So let's say that if you're finding yourself that you are maybe like at 30% or 50%, there would be moments in your life that when you can experience 100%, there'd be moments when you feel 0. And overall, if you can balance it and have it as a, let's say, natural cycle, then you can balance it probably into 60s, 50, 70. And if you stay in that range, that's already good. If you stay towards the 100, but 70, 80% is wonderful. So that's why also I don't think that it's a good expectation that you want to be 100% of the time always feeling great about yourself. Maybe there are people like that. Please, I would like to talk with you and learn from you for sure. But most of the time that we have new roles, right? Like becoming a new parent, it's a new role, or going to a new job, changing countries, even COVID. These things, they bring this self-doubt, and that's okay, as long as you can deal with it. And that's why it's important to have certain strategies. When you experience this collapse, then you can heal yourself. One of the previous sessions when we did the practice of how to help yourself in a situation of emotional collapse, So you can go back and find it and heal more and more, create more stable core. So then if you go a little bit on the percentage that you feel really not enough, then actually you can automatically, it will be ingrained within you. Self-talk, your body language, breathing, all could come together and support you. And maybe you can have also support system of a friend, family, with whom you can create this relationship that you can say, okay, I just need to tell you how I feel and I don't need to hear any advice. Just hear me out. And or maybe you can just even sit together. So this type of support systems, that's very important to have. So then you don't need this perfect state all the time, because it's okay. Good enough. Let's strive for good enough in being good enough and feeling good enough. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me. And if you want to receive materials later on, just type follow up after in comments, even if you are watching replay later on. And then I'll send you materials, exercises, and also guided meditation. And right now we're going more to the practical part. So I want you just take a breath, and I'll take a breath as well. Let go the need to remember all of the points and different steps. Whatever that you need to remember, it will be with you. Your heart would remember, your subconscious mind would remember, and you will later choose a couple of things, and that's all you need. You don't need to practice it all the time. And right now, just take some comfortable place, probably sitting position where you can support your back will be more comfortable. It will be around 15 minutes. And when you sit there, you just take a breath first with long and slow exhalation. And now one more time, let's do inhale, and on exhale, just sigh out. And ensure that you feel comfortable where you sit. And notice your present space. Notice how your ground is supporting you. Feel sensations in your feet, touching the floor. Or maybe if you are in a cross-legged position, just feel where you touch this ground, feeling support from the earth. Notice any sensations that are coming up for you. Overall felt sense in your body. And if any specific part of your body where you feel that you need attention, maybe there is a tension, a certain vibration, tiredness, just acknowledge that and let it be part of the process. Notice what emotions that came up while you were listening this. Or maybe any memories. And just allow yourself to do a little bit of inner work right now. And if at any moment you will feel that it's too much or uncomfortable, you are not ready to go deeper, you can stop anytime. You are in charge. You can come back later as well. And just check with yourself. Feel breathing and notice breathing, the entire process. How inhale lands in your body. Notice the wave of exhale. Notice small changes and differences from one breath to another. And breathe through your heart, just opening up your heart. And I'll just say Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And while you are listening these words, your heart will be opening up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And breathe in through your heart and breathe out. Feel your back, your spinal cord that is supporting you. You can straighten your back if you need to. And right now, bring into your attention some time, maybe today or during the previous week, when you experience some of the moment when you doubted yourself or didn't feel good enough. Just allow this moment to be reviewed. You are right now in the present moment. Right now you are just reviewing it. And notice when you even start thinking about that, what's happening in your body? Where do you feel it? What is the sensation of it? Just notice what is arising right here, right now in your body. And notice what is the feeling. Is it a sense of shame or guilt? Maybe there is certain fear. Maybe it's anger or disappointment or resentment. Whatever is coming up for you, just allow it to be. Right now, holding space for yourself. And you want to create more space, just take a breath, inhale, creating more space, expanding your capacity. On exhale, just release any resistance. Inhale and exhale. Allow the feeling just to be. You are safe right now to feel it. Even maybe back then, you were not allowed to express yourself or feel this way. Right now, you have absolute right. You have the right to be seen, to be heard. And notice what part of you that feels this way. Maybe you can clearly feel it in some part of your body. And notice if it's a familiar feeling. Maybe it's something that you always feel. How far it could go back. Maybe an image of younger self will come, or even a child self. If nothing that is coming up for you, that's also fine. Just stay with the present moment. Notice sensations, whether it's tension or heaviness. Allowing yourself to stay with it, creating space. And right now, just imagine the child version of yourself that probably felt this way. You don't need to remember the exact moment right now. Just imagine younger version, maybe 3 to 5 years old self. If they could be with you right now, and if they would feel this way, how could you support them? Just see their eyes, their pureness, joy and playfulness, curiosity in them, and the beauty. And stay with them so they could feel in your support, being held. And just notice, what do they want to hear right now? You can say it out loud. I am here with you. I'll always be with you. I love you. You're worthy. Or anything that feels right. And what else do they need? Maybe they just need to stay with you. Maybe they need a gentle hug. Or whatever it is, just allow to follow your instinct. Giving them space and nurturing. And what do you need to hear right now? Maybe something similar. You can say yourself to the present part, those words. And right now, imagine how this child is going directly into your heart, opening up your heart and taking a breath, knowing that this part of your inner child is with you right now, with your attention, being held. They will be always with you in a protected, safe space, in an upgraded world, taking with them into your heart. And they can come back anytime. They are always with you. You can nurture them every day or when they need it to establish deeper and stronger connection. And take another breath. And right now we will just take a few breaths all together. Slowly inhale and slowly exhale. Slowly inhale through your belly. On exhale, relax your belly. Inhale gently, expanding your belly. And exhale gently, relaxing, softening your belly. Inhale through your heart. And exhale through your heart. Inhale slowly through your heart. And exhale slowly. Inhale if there is a healing light that you can take in. And exhale, let this healing light be spread around you. And right now, imagine yourself in a beautiful nature place. Or maybe some safe place at your home. if you could imagine the nature place, maybe the mountain, a forest, just green field, notice that you are part of this nature. The sun is shining on your skin. You are part of something bigger than who you think you are. Breathe through your heart and imagine how your energy is expanding around you, connecting to the energy of nature around you. This is expansion of your soul. Right now, just for the curiosity purpose, playfully imagine how your soul is connected to this oneness and it came to this planet absolutely gorgeous, perfect, pure, playful, curious, joyful, lovable. And that's who you are. Any of the experiences in your life, they can't affect your essence. Your essence is pure, strong, powerful. Right now, imagine how you are also connected with higher powers, maybe God or Divine Mother. Or maybe you can imagine sunshine. Maybe you call it higher self. And breathe in through your heart slowly. And breathe out, expanding this energy around you. And right now, being in that state, if you could review your life, and you can go to any moment in your life where you need this support. Maybe even being a newborn baby. Imagine how gentle, nurturing would you be, seeing all the purity, love. Knowing that you have everything in you. And say to yourself in that moment, whenever the moment when you needed this support from higher self and from higher powers, from your essence, I love you. You are enough. I'm here. You are safe. And in any moment that you needed this support, imagine that you can go there and just support yourself. Maybe just holding hand of that version of you, staying with them, reminding when they look at you, they could remember who you really are. Essence, your soul. Slowly inhale and exhale. And take your time. And what do you need to hear right now? What do you need to remember from your essence? What would it tell to your current self? I love you. I'm proud of you. You are beautiful. You are kind. You are worthy. You have value. or anything else that you know on a higher level of who you are, and receive it with the next inhale. Receive it in your heart. On exhale, let go any resistance. Inhale, receiving. On exhale, just softening. Just feel the unity of higher self. You can come back anytime. Just imagining the golden light in you that flows through your body while you're breathing. Because you already have this energy, this purity, this presence within you all the time. Right now, you're just becoming more aware by slowing down, staying with yourself. You can experience it more often. Inhale, imagining how this golden light is going through all the cells, organs, into your heart, into your mind, creating new neural pathways. So it's so easy for you to remember that you are enough, that you are worthy, lovable. And right now, just come back to your breath. This energy will work for you during the next 24 hours. So you can just relax right now. Inhale slowly and exhale, extending exhalation. One more time, inhale and exhale slowly. Inhale, imagine that all the energy is going back into your body. Feel the physical presence of your body. Feel where you sit, the heavy pressure in your buttocks area. And you can just move your fingers and toes. Become aware of your surroundings. And all the energy that was expanded, you can decide that it could stay with you, like your aura around you, supporting you. But also, you can make it not as expanded, sort of being in a more protective space if you decide so. And just feel your body. You can move a bit your shoulders. Notice gentle smile on your face. And if you need time for more grounding, you can drink warm water after this practice and walk barefoot in your room, or if you can go outside, just walking in the grass. Or even eating would be something that will bring you more grounding. And you can slowly open your eyes. Thank you. Thank you for whoever is still with us. Thank you for staying. And just share how do you feel right now? And probably something that stood up for you the most that you would like to bring into your life from all the practical strategies, from all the ideas. What would you like to bring that you can practice more, cultivate this state of self-worth, not striving for perfection, but good enough? Maybe working on your self-talk, or maybe releasing all the emotions and healing parts of your inner child, or maybe creating more supportive social system, or anything else, just starting with awareness. Okay, the self-talk that stood up for you the most. Yes, that's really powerful. And let me know how it goes and if you have any questions. Okay. Feeling magical and feeling sense of love. Feeling more aware of what's happening. I was able to separate my story from this feeling. Okay, that's powerful realization. Okay, feeling centered. All right, thank you so much for joining. And if you want to receive materials, you can just write follow up in comments, whether you're watching now or later on, if you're watching replay. And I'll send you materials from this practice and also guided meditation. And join us for other live sessions. Share your thoughts or feedbacks, what would be the most relevant to you. And if you want to work with me one-on-one or have any questions, I have always space for free consultation calls. So you can always just request the link and I'll share with you. And we can talk with you personally, especially if something stood up for you that you want to address. All right, thank you so much. Sending you lots of hugs. Stay safe and enough within your heart. Bye-bye, everyone. Okay.